The folder sat innocently on the mahogany desk, golden sunlight glinting off the silver-embossed family crest like it were mocking me. My name was engraved beneath it, same as always. Dad had called me in for a quick signature. Nothing unusual, just business. I flipped it open. Page 1, my startup deck. Page 2, my pitch. Page 3, my financials, my designs, my blood, and 3 sleepless years. Rewritten in crisp corporate font, signed at the bottom with his name in bold. He leaned against the doorway, arms folded, sipping coffee like this was any other Tuesday. "Surprised?" he asked, voice soft, almost proud. My pulse hammered so hard I felt it in my teeth. "You stole it," I whispered. "Improved it," he corrected. "Investors like a familiar face. Mine sells, yours still needs seasoning." The clock on the wall kept ticking. I still remember the exact smell of that house. Teak oil, Cuban cigars he never lit, and the metallic bite of money being counted behind closed doors. Ambition wasn't encouraged, it was taxed. Every idea I brought home from college, every late-night prototype sketched on napkins got the same polite nod, then vanished into his study like smoke through a vent. Weeks later, I'd see it again. Cleaner slides, tighter numbers, his signature at the bottom. "Family project," he'd say, clapping my shoulder hard enough to remind me who paid the bills. My sister? Golden child. Her little eco app, something I'd helped debug at 3 a.m., launched under her name with a press release that called her the visionary heiress. I got a thank you text and a new Rolex I never asked for. Gift-wrapped hush money. The study was his throne room. Floor-to-ceiling mahogany, awards catching the afternoon light like broken halos. A single-frame photo sat on the desk. Him shaking hands with the senator, me cropped out of the edge, even though I'd been standing right there. The air conditioner hissed constantly cold and judgmental, keeping everything and everyone perfectly preserved. I learned to hide my real work, encrypted drives, fake folder names, burner accounts. I told myself it was a precaution. Deep down, I knew it was survival, but this startup? This one was different. 3 years of my life, patents pending in my name only, offshore entity, investors who'd never even heard of my father. I was finally outside his reach, or so I thought. That morning, he called me in to celebrate. Champagne already poured, 2 glasses. He slid the pitch deck across the desk, my deck, except the title page now read, Empire Ventures Phase 2. Expansion, his holding company, and the founder bio was a 12-year-old headshot of him. He raised his glass. "To the future of the family empire." I tasted copper in my mouth. That's when I noticed the tiny red light blinking under the lip of the bookshelf, his hidden camera, always recording for security. He'd been watching me build it. Every line of code, every investor call, every sleepless night, he smiled. 2:17 a.m. The city outside my window was dead quiet except for the low hum of the fridge and the soft click of my trackpad. One new email, then another. Then 7 in a row, all from the same investors I'd been flying to Dubai and Singapore to meet. Subject lines, polite, almost excited. "Congrats on the round." "Loving the vision, Mr. Chairman." Attached, my deck, my wireframes, my cap table, my soul, basically. Signed, "Warm regards, Victor R. Ahuja, founder and CEO, my father." I scrolled slower with every page, like I was watching my own autopsy. The coffee in my mug had gone cold hours ago, but I still held it, knuckles white, because if I put it down, I'd throw it through the screen. I knew his tricks. I'd grown up on them. He'd borrow my high school science fair project, turn it into a TEDx talk, take my college internship algorithm and file it as a company patent with guidance from family. I always swallowed it. Told myself it was mentorship. Told myself blood is thicker than bylines. But this was 8 figures. This was freedom. This was the one thing I'd built in absolute secret. No shared drives, no family dinners where I accidentally spilled details. I'd even used a fake name on the prototype repos. So how the hell did he have it? I opened the source code attachment. Line 247, there. A comment I'd written at 4 a.m. during a Red Bull haze. Dad would hate this margin. Keep it ugly on purpose. He'd left my joke in. Arrogant bastard didn't even scrub the metadata. I laughed once, sharp, ugly, then I stopped laughing, because right then, my phone buzzed on the table. Unknown number. Text. Careful, kid. Some things are bigger than both of us. Delete what you just saw. Sleep. We'll talk in the morning. V. I stared at the message until the screen went black. He knew I was awake. He knew I'd seen the emails. He was watching me watch him. My cursor hovered over the reply button. My thumb shook. I didn't type back. Instead, I opened a new terminal window, fingers flying faster than thought. I pulled every email header, traced the IP on his anonymous warning text, ran the deck through a diff checker against my master branch, and there it was. One tiny file buried in the appendix, a beacon, a tracker. My own. Week 1, I stopped sleeping. The apartment turned into a war room. 3 monitors glowing like interrogation lamps, cables snaking across the floor like tripwires. Rain hammered the windows for days straight, turning the city into watercolor streaks of red and amber. I didn't open the blinds once. Light meant witnesses. Every comment, every Slack message, every doodle on a Starbucks napkin, I dragged it into a private vault, time-stamped, hashed, triple backed up to servers in Iceland, Romania, and a random Raspberry Pi in my old college dorm that nobody knows still exists. I named the folder Insurance Policy. Week 2, I started feeding him ghosts. Tiny, deliberate mistakes slipped into the shared prototype he thought he was spying on. A rounding error here, a deprecated API there, just enough to make his version look amateur when the real investors dug in. He'd fix them, of course, proving he was actively changing my code. Beautiful, self-incriminating fingerprints. I watched him through his own tools. He'd installed a keylogger on my old laptop years ago for safety. Cute. I left that machine running, typing fake angry journal entries at 3 a.m. Dad was right. I'm in over my head. Maybe I should just let him run it. I could practically hear him smirking across town. Week 3, the phone calls started. Unknown numbers at odd hours, heavy breathing, then hang-ups. Once, a single word whispered, "Stop." I saved every recording. One night, the power flickered, just for a second. Long enough for me to notice the Wi-Fi indicator on my router blink in a pattern it never does. Someone was inside the network. I smiled, unplugged nothing, and kept typing. Let them watch. The real build was happening on an air-gapped machine under the floorboards. Week 4. I mailed myself a package. Thick envelope, no return address, delivered to a co-working mailbox I rented under a fake name. Inside, a USB drive and a handwritten note in my own handwriting. If you're reading this, I'm already gone, or you finally grew a spine. Either way, press play. I still don't know which version of me will open it. Some nights I stand at the window, rain streaking the glass like tears the city cries for me. I whisper to my reflection. He thinks he's hunting me. He has no idea I've been hurting him this whole time. Because the confrontation isn't coming, it's already here. And when the trap snaps shut, the last thing he'll see is every piece of evidence, dated, signed, irrefutable, uploaded to every major tech outlet, the SEC, and his own board group chat at 9 The morning smelled like old wood and fear. I walked into courtroom 12B at 8:47 a.m. exactly. Black suit, no tie. The folder in my left hand weighed more than the building. Sunlight knifed through the high windows and lit the dust like slow-motion gunfire. Every step echoed. People stopped whispering just to watch me pass. He was already there. Dad, front row, defendant's table, legs crossed, sipping water, like this was a board meeting. Same navy Tom Ford he wore the day he stole my first patent in 2017. He smiled when he saw me. Small, warm, the one that used to make me feel safe. Now it made my stomach turn. The bailiff called the case. My name first, his second. I didn't sit. I stood at the lectern and opened the folder. Exhibit A, the very first commit. 2:13 a.m., March 3rd, 3 years ago. My username glowing on the projector. Exhibit B, the email where he asked me to send him the latest deck for feedback. Exhibit C, the exact same deck, resent by him to Sequoia 2 days later with his name on the cover. His lawyer objected. Overruled, I kept going. Time-stamped screenshots, voice memos of me explaining the tech to investors while he sat silent in the background. A video, grainy, phone quality, of him telling my sister, "He'll never have the balls to fight me for it." The room got colder with every slide. He stopped sipping water. His knuckles went white on the glass. Halfway through, the judge leaned forward. "Mr. Ahuja Sr., do you need a moment?" Dad stood, voice steady at first. "Your Honor, this is a family misunderstanding. My son is emotional. He's always been emotional." Then I played the last file, a recording, his voice crystal clear. Taken from the hidden mic I had planted in his study the night he texted me, "Delete what you saw." He was on speaker with his CFO. By the time the kid figures it out, the term sheet will be signed and the IP assigned to the holding company. He'll cry, he'll threaten, then he'll take the vice president title and the 7-figure salary and shut up like always. Silence. Total. Even the air conditioning seemed to stop. The judge didn't look at me, she looked at him. Long, hard. Dad's eyes finally met mine across the room. For the first time in my life, he looked small. His lawyer started whispering frantically. Dad waved him off, stood again, buttoned his jacket like he was about to give a keynote. Then he did something I'll never forget. He walked over to my table. Slowly, everyone watched. He stopped 2 feet away. "I'm proud of you," he said, loud enough for the microphone to catch. "You finally grew up." He extended his hand, to shake, like we were closing a deal. I didn't move. The courtroom held its breath. I reached into my inside pocket, slow, deliberate, and pulled out a single flash drive on a silver chain. I'd worn it around my neck for 17 days. I placed it on the table between us. "Everything's on there," I said, "including the offshore accounts you used to bribe the patent examiner, the ones in the Caymans, the ones Mom still doesn't know about." His face didn't change, but the hand he had offered dropped like it weighed 1,000 pounds. The judge cleared her throat. "Counsel, approach." 10 minutes later, she came back. Judgment for the plaintiff. Full ownership of all intellectual property, patents, code, and associated entities transferred immediately. Defendant is further enjoined from any contact with the plaintiff's investors or employees. We'll take the criminal referral under advisement. The gavel fell like a gunshot. Reporters exploded, cameras flashed, someone in the back actually gasped. Dad didn't move, just stared at the drive like it was radioactive. I leaned in, voice low enough only he could hear. "You taught me everything I know," I whispered, "but you didn't teach me everything you know." I picked up my folder, turned, and walked out. Behind me, I heard the legs of his chair scrape. I pushed open the apartment door at 11:42 p.m. The rain had stopped. The city smelled like wet concrete and electricity. One lamp on, the rest of the place dark. My desk waited exactly as I'd left it months ago, like a crime scene that had finally been solved. I dropped the court-stamped order in the center. It landed with a soft final slap, then I just stared. For the first time in 3 years, I didn't open a terminal, didn't check backups, didn't triple encrypt anything. I poured 2 fingers of the 18-year-old Yamazaki I'd been saving for when it's over and sat in the dark. The glass trembled in my hand, not from fear anymore, from the sudden absence of it. I opened my phone. One new message from him, just a photo, no text. It was a flash drive I'd left on the table in court, now snapped cleanly in half, sitting on his desk, next to a half-empty bottle and an unlit cigar. I laughed once, out loud, cracked sound that scared even me, because he still didn't get it. That drive was never the real bomb. The real one went live the second the judge's gavel hit wood. Right now, as I sit here, federal agents are pulling up to his gate. Journalists are getting encrypted drops. His board is waking up to texts that will end careers before sunrise. I refreshed my inbox. Ping. Subject. SEC emergency freeze. Ahuja Family Holdings. Ping. Subject. WSJ tip confirmed. Exclusive dropping in 4 hours. Ping. Subject. Mom just called crying. What did you do? I closed the phone, took a slow sip, let the whiskey burn all the way down. Outside, the first siren started, far away, then closer. Red and blue lights bounced off the wet streets and crawled across my ceiling like slow lightning. I raised the glass to the empty room. To patience, I said, and to never, ever trusting family again. The sirens got louder. I didn't move because the story isn't over. It's just moving to a bigger stage. And tomorrow morning, when the world wakes up to the headlines, they'll finally learn my name. Not his shadow, not the emotional kid, not the heir, just me. If you've ever had your work stolen, your voice silenced, your future hijacked by someone who was supposed to protect you, this one's for you. Drop A if you're still watching. Comment the word receipts if you believe proof always wins. And if you're building something in secret right now, back it up, timestamp it, protect it like your life depends on it. Because one day it might. The credits aren't rolling yet. Stay tuned. The empire just changed hands, and I'm just getting warmed up. See you on the other side.